and they're suing his record label or his LLC because they said people knew about it, and they were pretty small, 7 to 11 or something.
Yeah.
Where they said they're in there molested, but their parents were groomed because Michael would have parents. He would buy them stuff. He bought them houses and stuff. Their parents or something. He would go to hotels and have the parents stay, but he put them down at the end of the hall and take the kids and sleep with them. Well, that's the parents' fault too.
Yeah, the parents were definitely complicit.
But they do groom the parents too sometimes, I've heard. So families.
He found parents stupid enough to believe his lies and immoral enough to let themselves groom themselves money and nice things.
But there's
at least that's my take on it.
But those aren't really conspiracies as much as just facts.
Those are conspiracy facts. I mean, those are conspiracy facts. I mean, but we're talking about Hollywood conspiracies. Conspiracies include theories and conspiracies. Sometimes facts.
Now we watch one about Telly Savalas. If you want to tell, that's not too long. I guess. Do you know who that is, Mark? Did you guys? He's older.
Yeah. Actor from 70s. Did a lot of
And you know him, right, Roger?
Did quite a bit of horror stuff. Various other stuff.
Yeah. So. I watched a show the other night. It was pretty spooky about him. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong, but you can tell it. I sent it to you, didn't you?
Yeah, he broke down. Telly Savalas was driving down a road late one night back in the 50s, and his car broke down. He had to walk up the road to a gas station and to get a gas can and stuff, and so he could fill his car back up. And he was walking up the road, and this guy pulled up and gave him a ride to the gas station. And the guy told Telly Savalas' name, and the guy mentioned this baseball player from the Boston Red Sox and stuff, and who had already passed away, which Telly Savalas thought was really strange, but he was more preoccupied with getting gas. So he got his gas, got back on the road. And the next day, he tried to call the number this guy had given him. He got a hold of the guy's wife. And the guy's wife hung up on him because she thought he was pranking her.
Yeah, she cussed him out.
but he called her several more times and finally got her to tell him what was going on. And apparently, it turns out the guy that had given him the ride that night was her husband. And the problem was her husband had shot himself. He had committed suicide by shooting himself several years earlier. So she didn't understand how he could have been there to give Telly Savalas the ride that night. And then several years later, in 1963, it was actually on November 22nd, 1963, Telly Savalas was playing golf with some friends of his at this big country club resort in California. And he saw this guy that had given him the ride, the ghost of this guy that had given him the ride several years earlier when his car ran out of gas. And the guy told him, "Did you hear about JFK?" And then he thought he was really freaked out by it, and he didn't think nothing of it. And then him and his friends were sitting inside the resort after they finished their round of golf, eating lunch, and they heard that JFK had been assassinated. But this guy's ghost told Telly Savalas about JFK's assassination at least several hours before it actually happened.
Yeah, and also the guy had a weird voice, like his voice was really high, which Telly Savalas always thought was weird, but he didn't find out till later when he was talking to his wife that the guy had shot himself in hit the throat. So that explained that, because he always thought that was weird. And then, he said that something else happened with that man, but he he couldn't talk about it. So I don't know. And he didn't know why this man was following him.
Well, the thing that's weird is, why was that guy This was a guy who never knew Telly Savalas and who Telly Savalas had no idea of when this guy was alive. Why would this guy's ghost have come to him just out of the blue like he did and then followed him the rest of his life? That was what Telly Savalas never could figure out.
Oh, what was the thing with the ball player, though?
And they don't know what the thing with the ball player is about, because this guy's ghost always mentioned that ball player anytime he visited. According to Telly Savalas, he always talked about this baseball player from the Red Sox, and he never knew why that was either, which was really weird.
Because he looked him up or something, because I don't think he was into baseball.
Yeah, because he wasn't following baseball, which was even more bizarre. He didn't know why that he always mentioned him anytime he came around either.
So I always wonder, though, what he wasn't saying. That's scary. But I guess I have no idea what else happened. Maybe somebody knows. Maybe his wife knew, but he didn't talk about it publicly, and he said it in the story that he wouldn't talk about it.
Telly Savalas, he did do an interview where he talked about that on an old paranormal show from Australia that was big in the 90s. I don't know if it ever aired over here in America, but it was an Australian paranormal show. I forget what it was called, but it was big.
Yeah.
It was real big in the 90s. I don't know if you guys ever may have seen it in the UK, but
yeah. So that was a big thing.
I'm just having a look. I just simply stuck in baseball and JFK into Google, and in 1961, there was some connection between Jackie Robinson, some baseball player back in '61, and Kennedy, and.
Yeah. Huh.
Sure of the direct connection, but yeah, weird.
Yeah, it was an interesting story.
Yeah, he didn't seem the type that would
He never
really
seemed the type that really had anything to gain from making up such a story, and why would the story have went exactly like that too is the weird thing. So it's it's one of the Hollywood mysteries, to this that persists to this day.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I watched him story too, and he's kind of mysterious anyway, a little bit. This was
I'm gonna try to
cool.
look up what that Australian show was.
He did a lot of stuff with Christopher Lee. Oh yeah, Christopher Lee, didn't he? The horror actor.
What? Who? Christopher? Who?
Lee. As in the English horror.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just wonder if there was some sort of connection.
Yeah.
Something, maybe.
Are you looking up that show?
Yeah, you can keep talking. Telly Savalas.
Now, Christopher Lee, what did he do again? You were cutting out.
He's the English horror who did all the Hammersmith horror films, Pinewood horror films,
Hollywood horror films.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The big
things
one.
Like I think it was Wicker Man and what's the one? Yeah, there was a one with in relation to sort of Russia and train related film where both of them actually appeared.
Oh, okay.
And I can't remember the name of the film. No, it was around that in the mid-60s, early to mid-60s.
I'll have to look him up. I'm not sure. I know I've heard of him.
I'm getting bad reception down here.
Right.
I don't know why.
But yeah, I think it's kind of spooky, some of the stuff that happens to people that are famous too. I guess they have to watch maybe something coming in to change things up. Or maybe if they get too full of themselves, they kind of self-implode.
Well, just because somebody's acting career is finished doesn't mean that their career's finished. How many actors do we know that have ended their actual acting career and start writing memoirs or books? Or
Yeah, sometimes they move on to something else.
Yeah. Something for a little, yeah.
Okay, so now I can confirm with you guys the audio sounds good. I even adjusted the audio so that it sounds good on the stream, so you're all good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not.
I want to add to the P. Diddy thing, though, if you guys don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead, talk about it a little bit. We're trying to look at stuff, so we're listening, but we're still listening.
You're trying.
Do you guys know about the freaking baby oil?
Oh yeah,
you've mentioned this a few times. Yeah.
I haven't been able to talk to Summer about this though. Yeah, you know about the Costco's.
Costco's what? How much he ordered or something?
Okay, he ordered a whole bunch of baby oil, and according to what I've heard, they found a receipt saying that he bought it from Costco.
Really?
Okay.
Why would he buy it from Costco?
The weird part about it though is when they did a check on it, they found out that Costco's has never freaking sold baby oil on their counters ever.
Yeah, on their counter, don't they have a website? You might be able to special.
They have never
sell baby oil though.
I don't know, but
maybe he bought it. He cleared off the shelf. I don't know. I never heard any details about where he bought it. Yeah, lot they found in his house or something, or one of the mansions that he had.
Well,
yeah,
I've got to browse the web for information, so I run across some of the weirdest shit. That's the reason why I'm on a channel called The Wonderful World of Weirdness.
Well, and I think the sad part is I'm sure Diddy's done some stuff, but especially when you watched how he beat his girlfriend up. But there was that video. But I think people, come forward that are just crazy, some of it. Like there was this one thing saying he was a necrophiliac. And I'm like, oh, my God. I mean, yeah, maybe he was weird, but really? Now they're saying there's dead people somewhere. And I'm like, some of these stories get embellished, I believe. So.
Well, I mean, you know that there's a lot of people who thinks he was involved in Tupac's death, right?
Yeah. I remember that.
I think what's funny to me is like Jay-Z was trying to act like they weren't friends, but they were very close. So I really feel like Jay-Z's a part of allegedly a part of a lot of things too, but it may not come out. I mean,